The US is at it again. The US Navy has positioned an aircraft carrier that carries a super mysterious and mighty aircraft in the Mediterranean. This move can only be seen as a declaration of something big that the US intends to do in the Middle East, should the world start preparing their nuclear bunkers and silos. Where has the US deployed this aircraft? And what makes it such a super mysterious and powerful aircraft? Let's dive into Mediterranean airspace and find out. But before we get into this video, just make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to ensure you get more content like this. Okay, let's go. So what's exactly happened now? Well, to simplify things, one of the world's most powerful navies, the US, has deployed its strongest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, with their strongest and most secretive unmanned vehicle, the X-47B. This move comes during a time when the tensions between the Palestinian Terrorist group Hamas and the State of Israel are breaking out in conflicts in my places at the border. If Hamas refuses to cease fire soon, they are going to feel the combined power of the deadly US-Israeli alliance soon. But what makes this aircraft such a terrifying prospect that Hamas should reconsider its position? The X-47 is an unmanned combat aerial vehicle, or UCAV, which was first designed and constructed as a part of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency's DARPA JUCAS program. The JUCAS program, or Joint Unmanned Combat Air System, was a combined program for both the US Navy and Air Force to obtain combat-capable unmanned fighter drones. The program would be managed under NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center. Under the JUCAS program, two notable drones would be built, Boeing's X-45 and Northrop Grumman's X-47. But what would end up happening is that the JUCAS would get dropped due to the difference in objectives that the US Air Force and US Navy had. The Air Force would pursue a path with the Boeing's X-45, and the Navy would pick up the remnants of the JUCAS program and restructure it into the brand new program called the Unmanned Combat Air System Demonstration Program, or UCAS-D. The Navy would move forward with Northrop Grumman's X-47, which would receive a new variant called the X-47B, made as a tail-less blended wing-body aircraft that was also capable of semi-autonomous operation capabilities and mid-air refueling. The X-47B would first be visualized when the US Navy rewarded $2 million for the concept exploration of a fully unmanned aerial combat and reconnaissance vehicle. The Navy set some performance markers for this concept vehicle, mainly resistance to corrosive saltwater, command and control integration for smooth flight, proper deck handling capabilities for both launch and recovery, and finally seamless handling in an aircraft carrier's high electromagnetic interference environment. With the parameters set and the funding secured, Northrop would provide the first variant of the X-47, called the Pegasus or X-47A, from which the X-47B would develop. The entire project had a backing of $635.8 million, which would grow again to a sizable $813 million towards the end of the program. It would again receive a grant of $63 million for post-demonstration development of the X-47B. The current capabilities of the X-47B are remarkable, with a top speed of 0.9 Mach. It can fly at a high subsonic speed and can deliver an ordnance amount of 4,500 pounds if necessary, although its primary objective is not combat but reconnaissance. The X-47B does have a successor called the X-47C, but it is a UCAV that is still in development and is not cleared for deployment. The X-47B, on the other hand, is highly capable on the field. This high capability was to be seen during its flight tests. Although initially set for 50 test runs, with each test run testing different parameters of the UCAV, it outperformed all set parameters before the full 50 tests could be completed. Out of the 50, only 16 flights were completed before all set targets were achieved in its preliminary testing. Its testing began in February 2011 and would conclude its testing phase in April 2015 by testing its in-flight refueling capabilities. Fun fact, the aerial refueling technology was only added after its test flight phase began and was not part of the original design. But then what about the US carrier this powerful weapon of war is seated on? What are its capabilities? Let's see. The USS Gerald Ford, as of 2024, is still the largest aircraft carrier and warship in the world and the most costliest to date. With a whopping $13 billion spent on the ship, you'll understand soon why this ship is the most dangerous aircraft carrier in the world. The USS Gerald Ford is currently deployed in the Mediterranean and is the lead ship in the series of Gerald R. Ford class carriers, which are aimed to replace the entire Enterprise fleet, which had been in service for an astounding 51 years, till it was decommissioned in 2012 and replaced with the USS Gerald Ford in 2017. This steely giant of war comes equipped with 2 Bechtel A-1B pressurized water reactor nuclear reactors, which only need to be refueled once in its 50-year commission period, which goes to show how reliable modern nuclear capabilities are. Its massive energy output allows the carrier to move at a top speed of 30 knots, allowing it to cover great distances at a time to assist allies or catch up with enemy warships. Want to know what makes this ship such a terrifying prospect? This ship has even less manpower than what the Enterprise-class ships had. What's so terrifying about that, you ask? Well, it's the fact that the ship makes up for its lack of manpower with AI. With more unmanned systems, greater spaces within the hull can be conserved for larger, better systems and other services that improve the quality of life on board the ship for the few men who are essential to running the carrier. In addition to all these features, it also comes with the latest sensor systems which have consolidated both horizon and volume search into one called the ANSPY 3, which is the latest of sensors to be developed by the US Navy. Although the X-47B possesses a great number of capabilities, the strongest ordnance system is delivered by the F-35C Lightning Joint II strike fighter jets, which had a reported development budget of, make sure you don't faint, $400 billion. What makes the Gerald Ford even scarier is the fact that it is already equipped with the technology necessary to host the successors of these fighter jets, the FA-XX fighters. These ships also come equipped with electromagnetic launch systems which only need 1/3 of the runway distance necessary to catapult planes into the air, as compared to its predecessor of steam-based catapult systems. Its strong arresters make sure that the planes that land on the ship are brought to a screeching halt well before they reach the end of the runway. These complex runway systems developed by General Dynamics come up to a whopping $4.6 billion. The entire ship is also interconnected by 11 elevator systems, each costing $180 million, allowing for the quick transport of ordnance and other supplies between levels of the ship for a quick response and seamless operation of the carrier. When these launch, arrestor, and transport systems all work in tandem, it creates a highly efficient, war-ready ship, ready to respond to any threats. With this ship carrying one of the most tested and best reconnaissance drones of the era, it will make a formidable opponent to any threat to the State of Israel. The US has sunk a great deal of its yearly budget into its army to be the kid with the biggest stick on the block, and it seems that it's indeed paying off well as seen. Although the USS Gerald Ford has been recalled back home, its very presence in the Mediterranean Sea has made Hamas rethink their every move. Which is your favorite feature of the X-47B and USS Gerald Ford? Let us know in the comment section down below.